Hello. Good evening. Are we ready? Is everyone ready?
Good evening. Thanks for
Good
coming.
evening, and thank you for coming to this meeting. What do you recommend? Robert said we had some other backdrops there before, but now we don't have them. Can you pull it? Is that what you said? So, yeah, I think that's better. Okay, can everyone see? Everyone see the interpreter? All right. Good evening. Thank you for coming to KSD's advisory board. I would like to ask Debbie Martin to do a roll call for us to make sure we meet our quorum. Scott Hahn, Jeff Kasinger, Nancy Perry, Dodie Carr, not here, Bridget Mann, she's here, Joshua Matthews, not here. We have met the quorum. We will call this meeting to order. You all should have a copy of the agenda. I would like to add a little bit to the agenda. If you see under the principal, Ms. Toyorobi, that portion of the agenda, letter D, and it says III for MBO. I would like to add the KSD Alumni Association sports and also the 5K race. Will you accept the agenda? Okay. Before we get started with the meeting, I would like to stand up. If everyone would stand with me. I would like to say about the school year 22-23, it has been a challenging year. We have had a lot of people, 4 people that we are losing from KSD that have had a big impact on this campus. Nancy Mann was a teacher here for many years with such a deft heart. And Shane Hodge, a beloved member of the student life team here, who was devoted to the school for many years. Dot Stoward, an interpreter, back in the early days, before it was a profession, passed away as well. Just the day before the gala. She would have loved to have gone to that. And Virginia Moore. Wow. Huge personality that made such a big impact on all of us, our students in the state of Kentucky. I went last Sunday to her funeral and to see the sea of people that showed up in support of her. The governor himself was there. Just an honor. I'd like for us to take a moment of silence for those individuals. Amen. Thank you. I would like to introduce our representative, an active interim KSD and KSD Director, Mr. Jonathan Jeff,
Sure.
and also next to him, Ms. Carol Ann Morrison. They're here with us this evening.
But,
Welcome to our meeting tonight. They are taking the place of Jane Painter. She's going to take early leave prior to her retirement, and we wish her well. And please share that with her, Ms. Roby, that we wish her well. Now, I would like to review the copy of the minutes that everyone has. Just a minor correction, if you would give me just a moment to find that. On the last page, letter I, under discussion, no dates have been set up for the committee to take the tour. We will communicate that information. The legislature, it should say Legislators' Day there. Legislators' Day. We need to remind them again. That's the correction that should be made. And then on down to letter J. The goals and objectives and recommendations of the advisory board, it says legislature. That should also say Legislatures' Day. And also to invite the committee to meet with us, to meet with the board members. And the last correction, on down, okay, Scott Hahn refers, not prefers, but refers to KSD to answer that question after the meeting. That's all of the corrections that I have. Any others from the advisory board? Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes and the corrections? Jeff said I make a motion to accept the minute corrections. Nancy Perry seconds that. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Motion carries. I would like to hand it over to Ms. Roby, KSD principal.
In April, a team of us traveled to California for our CEASD conference. And at that conference, we had a team. It was Doug Brewer, our assistant principal, Phoenicia, and our two counselors, Stu Harper and Christy Sharp. We kind of went to different sessions across those days, but the most exciting thing for us is we were awarded full accreditation. I think 3 schools, maybe 4, received accreditation, and so we were excited. They treated us like rock stars, and we were happy. That was about a year process for us. Typically, it takes a year to a year and a half to go through accreditation, and we did it in 10 months. So the report has arrived. It was shared actually this morning with KDE. They will review it, and then so hopefully this fall at your next board meeting, you all should be able to review that accreditation report as well. There are 12 standards We passed all 12 standards. We have feedback on every standard, strengths and opportunities. So, as I said, KDE will review that. It will be shared with the school team and shared with the board. Any questions on that? Do you want to hold questions till the end, Scott?
Yes, we'll hold to the end.
Okay. Update on student life and outreach. Student life, we are sending a team of 9 to the Deaf School Student Life Conference that'll be held in New Mexico the last week of June. So we're really excited to be able to use monies to send 9 of our team. So we're very excited about that. Outreach has been busy. Our learning deprivation team has stayed busy with in schools this year. That is a new position that we put in to support, especially following COVID. We use some ESSER dollars to go out and work with districts and families, and they have stayed on the road. And then our team is also looking at what other schools are doing, deaf schools, and their outreach programs are. Tony is looking and exploring other schools, specifically I believe Indiana. And we spent some time with KSD talking with other schools and what they did with their outreach programs. So that's kind of reviews right now, an update on that. New hires and vacancies. We have several right now. We have 12 in student life. A couple of those positions we're looking to repurpose and combine and add a social worker to the second shift so that kids have that support across the day and then again in the evening. We have 12, a total of 12 in student life, 6 instructional. And when I say instructional, that includes my position as principal, my assistant, teachers, and 1 instructional aide. And then we have 2 housekeeping and 1 nurse that are currently open. Several of these positions are being posted on KSD. But obviously our student life for our basic positions, we're not advertising those on KSD. But our instructional positions we are. Upcoming events, due to some unforeseen incidents, issues that we had, we went ahead and canceled summer school and ag camp. We're using that time to work with our dorm staff, and we are getting ready to go under some renovation. So we're working internally to make that move from Middleton to Brady. MDO will be July 9th through the 15th. I think we had our call last week, Rhonda and I did, with 13 with Barbie, and so we're ready to go with that. They're anticipating with staff and students 125 people on campus that week. And then also not listed on here, after that conference, we'll be having the KEDI conference. KYD, it's Kentucky Teachers of Deaf and Hard of Hearing Teachers Association. So Janice facilitated that, and they'll be coming on campus. They were here last year. And we want to support those programs as part of the statewide Center on Deafness. We want to have any opportunities to bring for teachers in the Down 2 campus. So we're having that. And then last, and I'll let Rhonda talk about that.
I'd like to talk about KSD Alumni Weekend. It's July 28th and 29th. As part of our 200-year celebration, it'll be 76 people have purchased tickets for that, and the goal is to have 180 tickets to be purchased, and we'll be sending that off. The liability insurance, we'll be sending that to Zach Whitaker to get that processed and taken care of for that event. And so we're working and getting all of our plans and preparations together for that event. What about the 5K run, Twig? Would you like me to share about that? So Barbie and I are working on, right after that race that weekend, Barbie with two other gentlemen, Buzz and Jeremy. They'll be in contact with the new principal about that weekend and other details to make sure that we have everything ready for that as well. Rhonda, I have a question for you. How many people went to the gala? I think Barbie said 400, is that correct? 405 people, is that correct, Archie? So it's 400 people, yes. And so Barbie and her group were thrilled that that many people came. Barbie Harris. Ms. Harris, would you stand up? And Rhonda, we want to thank you for the wonderful job that you did all throughout this year to make it successful. And hats off to both of you for all of your hard work. And Archie Harris is included in that as well. And a beautiful baby. And I would like to thank all the different committee members as well for all of the work that you guys did to help us. We had problems that arose, and you guys gave us feedback and helped us solve all those problems. And you guys, it was wonderful to partner with all of you and with the community as well in Danville, to partner with everyone to make everything a success. So, thank you. 3 events left for our 200th celebration. But we really want to thank your team and the school as well for such a wonderful job. And Dr. Corson was here. He was very impressed by all of it and all the things that you guys did. He was very touched that KSD celebrated in such a wonderful way. Is it all right if I... Mr. Harris, would you like to add? Step around over here. Where do you want me to go? You go over there? Where do you want me at, Jared? Okay. So after the gala was over, everyone said that they enjoyed it. And they said they had such a wonderful time. And they said they would really love to have another gala because they enjoyed it so much. I'm like, why are you asking me? They said we just love to see all the people dressed so nice, dressed to the tens to celebrate KSD and to celebrate deaf education. And I said, I don't think I'll be alive long enough to host the next gala, so we'll have to get together. You guys will have to take over and start the planning for the 225 years celebration as a school. Or you could have another theme that you guys would like to create. I know that if you put the work in, people will come and they will enjoy it just as they did the gala, and you'll have the support that you need. Thank you.
I just want to add to that, on that week, I want to thank Alex Heckert for her work in organizing that day with the kids and stories. But for me, and I think what was just really impactful was when we had our panelists. I don't know how many of you all were here for that, and I know Jeff, you were part of it. I have got a picture of one of our students just looking up in amazement, and that was getting all those people here together, former CIA, Washington analyst, Olympic gold medalist. I mean, wow. And I hope that can continue and we don't have to wait another 25 years because our kids need to see that. So I think that was awesome. And one thing I also want to add, a couple of things actually. Graduation this year, we graduated 4 students, but had a very special 5th student, now 95-year-old Miss Hester, received her diploma. So it was really cool to have her as part of that graduation ceremony. So that was pretty special. And how cool for our 200th year. We're adding the other day that Miss Hester's been here almost half of KSD's existence. So that's pretty cool when you think about her time of being alive. One thing you all each have is a copy of the standard. Just to review, I know you all know this, but the standard was our primary publication, and many years ago it stopped being produced for deaf schools. This was a way to communicate, and as principal, about every quarter, or at least once or twice a year, I get a copy of deaf schools, their publication. I asked our high school English department to start last year getting organized to start producing the standard. Right now it is produced electronically and internally, but the goal is to go back and get it published, shiny copy and mailed to the other schools. It's a way to kind of brag with the other deaf schools and show off what you're doing, and a way to just kind of see what others are doing. So hopefully we can continue this, and the students and Kimmy and Todd have done a wonderful job producing this. So I think it's beautiful and it's nice to see it going. I think that's all that I have to share. After I quit talking, I think
I would like to give my compliments to your staff on reestablishing the Kernel Standard. I have enjoyed reading this myself, and so thank you for sharing that information. Before I proceed, Nancy said, I have a question. So every 4 months on the Kernel Standard, that will be sent to what about alumni? Can it be sent by email, or is it in the mail?
Building that base, that would have to be built. So I think that's something that can be. I mean, you could probably post on there if you want a copy of this, let us know. It's also been shared on Facebook.
Okay. That's great.
Which I think is really important to share with alumni, but I really want other deaf schools to see what we're doing, because it's kind of a status thing to be able to have that mailed out.
Yes. That's what the KSD alumni, they enjoy to see what's going on at KSD so that they can support it. That's all I have. Bridget, did you have a question? So, related to the 200-year celebration of KSD, I checked with the Senator Mitch McConnell, his office sent me a copy of his resolution for, that'll be May the 3rd. You guys should have a copy. And for those of you in the audience that would like a copy, I have them on the table over there. That KSD was recognized for its 200-year celebration. It was a very nice piece that his office wrote here in this resolution that I have here.
Okay, what?
Any more questions? Is Mr. Hewlett here? Oh, you're gonna be T tonight, okay.
All right, T has got vacation Bible school tonight, and he's with his grandkids, so he's asked me to provide an update. So our roofing projects at Kerr, Grow, are about 99% complete. I don't know if you all drove by Grow Hall. We've got a nice new copper looking roof. Middleton is just about done, so that'll be Thomas, Middleton, and Grove that will have new roofs. Brady Hall, if you were on campus yesterday, we had a huge crane pulling out our cooling tower. It failed, but it was really old and it was time for it to go. So they removed it and they'll pour the pad. It'll take it about 2 weeks to cure, and a new cooling tower will be installed to get us up and going again. So the goal with that contractor, I think they said the middle of July is their goal. So they know that we've got to be up and running and ready before students get here. Our staff has been really good. We've given them the choice to work at home or work someplace else on campus because that building has gotten hot. We have installed cooling units, temporary cooling units to make sure that our computer network does not crash and it has to be at a certain temperature. So everybody's been working really hard to make that keep that going. We are getting, if you notice on the back of Arco McClure, that big machine, the dust vent that's on the back for where all the dust for woodshop goes, that is really old, and T has done a really good job of working to get that replaced. So that's a pretty pricey item, so we're excited about that. So that'll be up and going again. Lee Hall, we've talked about this before, to do an architect engineering study to see, hopefully we can keep that building and keep it maintained, but they've got to do a study just to assess the viability of that building before we can move forward with anything else. Jacobs Hall, the exterior painting, the sidewalks are done, but the exterior painting is complete on those columns front and back, and I believe that looks really good. The HVAC system, that's been selected with COVID. It's been hard getting those materials in here. So we're able to move forward, and that'll be $33 million over the next 2 years for upgrades. We also have new sidewalks going in. Rick has done a really good job in kind of seeing the pattern of where kids walk and where they're crossing the grass. So, and for safety, we are adding some crosswalks over to Thomas when the kids load on Fridays. They're kind of willy-nilly when they're crossing the road, so we're adding a crosswalk. We've added a sidewalk coming from Grove that's a little bit more efficient to get to Thomas Gym. We're also adding another sidewalk from the helipad to the back of the middle school. So if people are parking in Lower Brady, they'll cross that sidewalk up to the old helipad or basketball court now, and then we'll have a sidewalk up to the bottom of this building here. So that'll help people so they don't have to walk so far around or walk in the grass. We also are still looking at getting the garage doors for the pool. We have water in the pool is up and going. There's a contract working in place for lifeguards, so we can have that for the kids this fall, so we can access the pool. But we're looking to make that pool more indoor-outdoor. The windows that are on the end of the pool, the big windows, you have windows at the top, windows at the bottom. Those bottom windows would be removed and they would be garage doors to open it up to make it feel more indoor-outdoor pool. So when school starts or during summer school or at the end of the school year, we can open this up and it helps with flow. And also, we're looking to get that air moving in there, to add vents on that end, so that we can get some airflow through there. So the pool looks amazing. But that's it on capital projects and campus projects.
Any questions from the board? What about the fence?
Okay, so we are in we finished phase 1, we're now in phase 2 and 3. We're waiting on the contractor to get those materials in. Phases 2 and 3 will do around Lee Hall, and it'll have the black fence that matches the front. And then the back will be like a chain link fence. It won't be pretty like the front. We also have our gates ordered, and they are 10-foot gates. I don't know if you all saw the stone entrance columns when you came in. We're waiting on the capstones for those gates. We're not going to do the capstones until the gates are in, so they kind of know the height of the capstone to match that gate. And then we'll have 2 bronze signages. One side will say Kentucky School for the Deaf, and then the other side will say established 1823. So when you come in, then we're working on the electric for the gates. If you notice down on the farm road, there's a slide gate, and our new gate, and that gate will have loops in it so that people at the gate will automatically open when they exit campus. And then we're looking to do a code for when people come on campus and they can get in that way. And then also Andrew has a security system set up to where people's license tags can be entered in, and it'll recognize when somebody enters campus and is not, really shouldn't be here, or if there's that alert too. So there's still a lot more things come down the pipe that we're excited about, but that's on the Vincent project, and that's still part of the Vincent project. We're using ESSER monies on that, and we have to have all of our fence in place by September 30th in order to fully utilize those funds. So you should have everything done by September 30th.
Okay, any questions from the board? Yes, what about the old fence that was taken down in the front? Will that be repurposed, that old fence? I know it's in Grow Hall parking lot right now. What are the plans for that?
There are no plans for that time. We didn't want to lose it. So I know there have been a lot of people knocking, very curious, and want some of that fence, but because it's state property, we just, we can't sell it. So the future principal and leadership can work on a plan, whether, I don't know if we can get permission to let that be a fundraiser. I know somebody who wants the gates really badly. So anyway, maybe it can be a fundraiser if they're permitted to do so, I'm not sure. But they do not, we don't want to throw it away.
I wonder if it's it's possible to use some of that, on the sides, so maybe people can see, you know, the new fence and then what used to be the old fence. Like maybe near, Claire Gallaudet Street, somewhere in there.
And maybe use it at the museum, maybe save and use there.
You know, the museum, we have that short road, we could add it up there, we'll have to wait and see what the next principal recommends. I do have another question. I noticed that we're starting to, try to transition towards the key fobs to get into the buildings. Is that, going to be moving
That is
along?
the projects, right now that Andrew is still working on that. There is money for that, and that's in process. And it's not fully started, but that is on the list of security upgrades to do. So the plan is key fobs across campus. We're adding some more camera systems. And then with the gates and the fence, we're feeling really good. And then our internal communication, we have alerts, and then which if there's a drill, it automatically shows up on everybody's computers, student computers, teacher computers, on our whiteboards, that there's a drill, and or not a drill or an actual situation, and it comes up. And so and then we also have another system that alerts on phones, and that teachers can go to it very quickly and alert.
Debbie, did you have a question? Yes, the two columns in the front, what will be on top of those again?
Cap stone.
Oh.
So because that stone, that particular stone was not conducive to make a capstone the way it was cut, so we're having to order a special kind of stone that looks right. If that stone had been cut differently, we could have used the stone in the parking lot, but it didn't work.
I thought maybe it was gonna be for a camera, I saw
No.
that little post up there. on
No,
top
but
of
it
those.
did leave electric for lighting, so lights can be added as well. They just don't want to order the light shed until they see the proportion of the gate. The gate is black, and it has a circle in the center of it, and then KSD fits in that circle, and that'll be gold, and the gates are black.
Jeff? So for the fence, if in the event of like basketball homecoming or any type of event like that, the gates will be open for anyone to pass through. But if it's like a specific time they would need to leave by, you know, then they would schedule the time for the gates to open?
Gate, it's on a loop. So if you're on the inside, you can leave any time because it senses. So as you pull up to that gate, that loop is approximately 25 feet back from the gate. And that metal of your car triggers that gate to open. So you don't have to, anybody can leave anytime. And then also on those gates, the way it's rigged, if an ambulance or a fire truck approaches that gate, the sound of that siren is at a certain pitch, and that pitch will open that gate. So that the fire department does not have to punch in a code, that sound will trigger it open.
Any more questions from the board? Next would be Jonathan Jett, principal search update, and the Kentucky Department of Ed update.
thank you all. My name is Michael Jett, and a little bit about myself. I'm from Perry County. I began my career 27 and a half years ago as a special ed teacher. Worked up to administration, was a special ed director for 9 years, and most recently retired after serving 10 years as superintendent of Perry County Schools. Came back in April as academic program manager, but also special education, early learning. And first, I want to congratulate Toya on her upcoming retirement. She's dedicated her life to public education, and that needs to be commended, and I want to congratulate you and thank you for your service. I want to thank the board for giving me this opportunity. What you all do by being willing to serve ensures that every student that comes through these doors are going to receive a quality education and be well taken care of. And I had the opportunity to meet Mr. Hahn years ago. It was several gray hairs less than we have now for both of us, but it's good to see him again. And I want to thank you people out here. I mean, as we went through this meeting, it's evident that it does take the community to make this school successful. So thank you all for what you do to make sure that the school continues to be successful. And I just want to start out by briefly going over what's been done so far for the principal search. There have been 2 listening sessions to solicit feedback. One was virtual and one in person. That feedback is being used to create a profile of the principal, and that will be ready by the time interviews start. The commissioner has accepted applications from community members to be part of the interview panel, and the commissioner has sent letters. I don't know if everybody has confirmed yet that they will serve on that panel, but I know he has sent letters to people that were selected, and the interviews will be being scheduled for the week of the 19th. And I'm 2 days into this new position with Carol, so that's basically all I know at this point about that. But I do want to say that since coming on with the Office of Special Education and Early Learning in April, I've been able to visit the school. And it's a beautiful campus. Toya gave me a tour of all the grounds. The improvements that are going on from a facility standpoint are remarkable. But what I saw that was more important to me than anything was being able to visit the classrooms and see the interaction between the teachers, the parents, the administrators in this school and the students, and to see the joy in the students and the commitment and the compassion from the staff that's in this school is remarkable, and it's evident that the staff here is committed not just to teaching at high levels, but making sure that students are taken care of and are receiving the needs to meet the whole child and not just their education needs. So that's something that I'm thankful that I was able to witness firsthand by visiting the school. And the only other update I have from KDE is we've recently received updated policies from the Kentucky School Boards Association. Those policies are updated annually based on legislative changes, so this is a common thing and they're adopted throughout the state of Kentucky. Okay? My job is as academic program manager and now acting co-director of state schools is to just improve the lives for students at the state schools. Whether that be in the classroom, in the dorms, when they're sleeping at night, we just want to make sure every kid is taken care of every second that they're here. And we want it to feel like home. It's their home when they come here. They come here on Sunday, a lot of them, and they leave on Friday afternoon. It needs to be a home. It needs to be a place where the dorm parents feel like parents, because this is their home. And we want to ensure that that happens for all students.
If the board has any feedback
I'm
for
sorry.
it.
You try to go over here.
Yes.
Well,
regarding those recommended policy updates, please feel free to share that with us tonight. We sent those out to you today, so you have those in your email.
Do you all have a copy of that? What Caroline's talking about from the email? Okay. I think it's the basic standards, just as other schools have. I've looked it over. Do you guys have any comments, anything to share right now? To be honest, in the past, I was involved with these types of policy developments and the leadership teams. And with Ms. Roby's team and getting all that worked out for our school. And the Kentucky School Board Association, it's a professional organization where all the schools have to follow the policies and the new laws that are implemented, put out. And that's where they need to discuss those policies and any adjustments that need to be made. And so this is a good place to give feedback to, like, they'll take that back to the Kentucky Board of Education, right? And then they'll share our feedback and they pass that off to the Kentucky Board of Education. And then once it's accepted, it can be adopted into the policies. And that's how the rules get established.
If you feel comfortable,
You feel
for
comfortable to make a motion to accept, or you can wait. Jeff said, I just got this today at the last minute, so I need more time to read through it myself.
so feel comfortable.
Would you like to wait? Okay, so we will wait to make sure, and we can respond. What's the deadline that we need to share that with you by?
We have to have our materials turned in for the board meeting by July 5th, so we don't have much time.
Okay, let me write that down. July 5th, okay?
Okay, feel comfortable.
So we're gonna look this over and email them and let them know. And this is the same as KSD, the blind school as well?
Yes, the policies are combined for both schools.
I do want to just say that the deaf school is a little bit different than the blind school as far as cultural differences and different things like that. Anything else from the board?
Oh, I have a question.
I do have a question about, this was posted to share with us about the director. The Division of State Schools was posted. I noticed that they've added ASL to this. It would be nice to say if it was required, but I understand they've written preferred. Skills and American Sign Language is preferred, but not required. We always say that every year, so it's important to let them know. I think that's good to see that that's been added. That way there's awareness that it is a deaf school and that sign language is used here. How many people are on the interviewing team?
For the director of state schools or for the principal here at KSD?
Yes,
The
principal.
I'm not sure if that's been fully established yet, you know?
No, I know that there were applications sent out for people to apply to be on that interview panel. And those applications have been reviewed and the commission has sent letters out accepting those people. But I don't know if they've confirmed that they are willing to serve, for sure. So I can't answer that.
Okay. Who develops the questions for that interview?
The Commissioner of Education is leading that interview team and organizing that.
But I think the panel will have a voice in those, in developing those questions.
Okay. Jeff said, will there be a screening for the committee? For those that will be involved, will there be any type of screening?
I'm sorry, are you asking, are they gonna screen all of the applicants and narrow them down?
Like whenever we pick different members for different positions, we would have some type of screening, like have a member of the Alumni Association, and a member of the current staff of KSD, and a member of KDE, that we would have a good mix of different people on the interview panel. I know we've had that in the past, we've been able to do that. And I would like to see that again, to have a good mix of those individuals on the panel.
You mean screening to choose which
Debbie said you mean screening to choose which people will be interviewed or which people will be providing the interview. A screening for the candidates.
Said for who's on the panel that sets the committee.
So just to narrow it down to their final selection.
I think that to answer that question, it's my understanding that HR is vetting all of the applications to make sure they meet the requirements to serve in that capacity. And then those people will be interviewed by the interview committee. And then that committee will send recommendations to the commissioner.
That, you know more about the process than I do. Just jumped in.
I think, and again, yeah, we're 2 days in, so, but I think that will be the process.
Okay, that's perfect, thank you. I just wasn't aware if anything had changed. I understand that HR takes care of things like that. I have experience working with the state, things that they do, and making recommendations to the commissioner, and that some things, are managed by the commissioner. I know that's been the way that everything has gone. I just was looking back myself, thinking about the process of how you got the panelists that were going to provide the interview, and then also how you screened the individuals that had applied for the position. I know that Dr. Corson, when he interviewed to be the superintendent, the policies that were used to select him as the candidate. And I just wanted to make sure that everyone's voice was being heard from these different positions, in addition to those that are working with the state. And also, if we could have provide feedback on the types of questions that are asked, that way we're drawing the right candidates. And like Scott Hahn said, we're using the word ASL skills are preferred and not required. So if it was a Spanish teacher position, would you say that, the being fluent in Spanish would be preferred or required? Usually we would say that would be required. So we would hope in some ways that we could have a positive influence on that change. So that way the principals that do apply for the interview, we would be able to select some really good candidates that would fit this school. Nancy said, I'm curious to know how many people have applied so far, do you know? Scott Hahn said, I want to clarify, are you talking about the principal position? Yes, how many people do you know have applied for the principal's position?
I don't.
No. I have heard 14, but I can't confirm that. I haven't seen the applications myself, so I don't know for certain. That's the number that I heard.
Wow. That's good. Better than having a small pool of people, you have a larger pool. Debbie said,
interview team
Will the
requiring
interview
a deaf
team
representative?
require a deaf representative to serve on the panel?
That I'm not sure of either, but you all are asking some great questions. And so I would be happy to take those back and see if we can get answers for you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Perhaps you could bring these questions to them and see if they can answer that, and then share those answers with us. Any more questions from the board? Okay, the director of state schools. Let's see what's next on our agenda. We were going to post the director of student life. Is that correct?
It's been posted. Director of Student Life.
Here are the special requirements. Applicants must have a minimum SLIPy score of intermediate or be willing to learn and participate in sign language classes at the Kentucky School for the Deaf. It would be nice to see that also on the director of state schools position as well. Those same things. And for the student life, I feel like that student life director should be at a higher level, at least probably at an advanced, to be able to understand the students when they sign. I'm not sure that intermediate, I feel like advanced would be a better fit for the director of student life, as their SLIPy score, as a minimum requirement. Like ask the board if they agree, so that way they're able to understand the students when they communicate with that director. Any recommendations from the board? Yes, Nancy said I agree. I think advanced would be a good minimum requirement for their SLPI. Have we filled the position of special education director for Kentucky School for the Deaf and Blind?
Not yet.
The director of special education? Okay. I think it's posted on CEASD, yes, it's posted there. It doesn't mention anything about sign language skills under that position. Nothing about the SLPI. If we could add that SLPI requirement across the board to these positions, I think that would be beneficial. As the director of special education for the deaf and blind schools, to be able to sign and also understand students and staff when they sign as well. That would be a recommendation that I would like to bring to your all's attention. Does the board agree? Yes, we have several on the board that agree if we could add that. Is it possible to revise these postings?
I'm not sure if it's possible to revise a posting once it's up. That would be a question for our HR department, but we can definitely take the recommendations back to our office.
If I may, I would say that it is quite likely if you're asking for positions to be readjusted, that not only would they have to go back to HR, but I would also believe that probably the commissioner and said board may have to go through a process of getting them reapproved, which would then, I just want you to be aware, that would push the process back. As you are thinking about it, you are midway through June and school starts in August. So just something for you to be aware of. I do understand and appreciate your desire of what you're requesting, but I think it's important that you also be aware of what that might in turn do to the educational benefit of this institution.
Jeff said yes, Ms. Mann, I do agree. I would like to say that as an advisory board, we would like to help and assist in the process of these things being posted with the correct requirements and things that we feel are important. And I wish that we could adjust our processes to where HR could allow feedback from the advisory board as to how these positions are posted, but they're being posted without any of our input. So that's why we're bringing this to everyone's attention today.
Thank you. Wait a minute,
Thank you. Maybe next time you could make the case. I'm not sure who has the authority, but we can make the recommendation that before a job is posted, that they could meet with the advisory board committee members to make sure that we have appropriate language used in those postings. Thank you all so much. Now back to the chair, myself. I wanted to have some discussion. I think we have room for improvement to add the SLPI requirements to different job postings, and also the appropriate language, whether it's preferred or required. Ms. Perry said also about deaf culture, to make sure that there's access as well. That's all of our recommendations. Oh, Ms. Martin said I have a question. So if they don't have someone by July 1st, will the assistant principal begin helping in that role as principal? That's a good question. We would need to ask the assistant commissioner and the commissioner to come and answer those questions. I think they're the only two that can answer that. But that is a good question. That what would happen if the principal position is not filled in the time we're expecting? I'm concerned about the timeline. I don't know if there's been enough work that's been done early enough to have someone by July 1st. That's a concern. I think the state is trying to push the process along to make sure that school is ready by this fall. I understand things take time. I do think it is possible that that timeline could be pushed out. I'm sorry. My point is since Ms. Roby is leaving at the end of June, who will be in charge of the school as of July 1st? The assistant principal will support the school along with the state supporting the school as well. I remember, I'm not sure if it was in person. I vaguely remember the commissioner did mention that it was either going to be I think they do have a plan to work that out. So our goals, objectives, and recommendations for the advisory board, I would like to ask Debbie Martin to make a resolution for the graduating seniors. Whereas teachers, instructional aides, student life staff, interpreters, nurses, food service staff, housekeeping, operational staff, outreach staff, and administrators serving at the Kentucky School for the Deaf, students successfully educated and supported the class of 2023 seniors to achieve their goals through virtual, electronic, and in-person instruction to graduate, and whereas the members of the class of 2023's hard work and achievement have caused them to be recognized and appreciated by teachers, dorm staff, community, parents, and other KSD students. And whereas hard work and active participation at the Kentucky School for the Deaf have enabled the class of 2023 seniors to achieve excellence in many areas of school life and prepared them to join the community as active members. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Kentucky School for the Deaf Advisory Board hereby honors and extends its deepest appreciation and hearty congratulations to all graduating class of 2023 seniors, and furthermore, orders this commendation duly recorded in the official minutes of this body this, the 13th day of June in the year of 2023. Signed, Warren Scott Hahn, Jr., Kentucky School for the Deaf Advisory Board Chair. Does anyone make a motion? Jeff said, I make a motion in favor. Nancy Perry seconds that motion. Any discussion? Anything to add? The motion, all in favor say aye. The motion carries. Now I'll give it over to Jeff Hessinger. Miss Roby has served as our principal of the Kentucky School for the Deaf in running this school and giving it everything she's got to get our students to the level that they needed to be, supporting our students' parents, and giving her heart to this school. And to the staff, the students, their families, and contributing to the success of our students. She has made many wonderful improvements to this campus, overseeing different teams, and taking us through many challenges such as COVID, and addressing students' needs to make sure that there is safety and security provided on campus, as well as overseeing many different projects throughout her time here, hiring coaches and social workers and student life staff and many different staff to make sure that the school has been a success. Also, committing to participating in the KSD conference and now receiving full accreditation. Be it resolved that the Kentucky School for the Deaf Advisory Board staff honors Ms. Roby for her commitment as principal to this school, and for all that she has done in the past 6 years to help the Kentucky School for the Deaf through times such as COVID-19, and also through our wonderful times here at KSD as our 200th celebration. We wish you the very best in your retirement and in the years to come. And thank you for all the wonderful service you have provided in your time here at KSD. This 13th day of June in the year of 2023, signed by Warren Scott Hahn, Jr., Kentucky School for the Deaf Advisory Board Chair. I make a motion to accept this resolution. Any discussion? I second. All in favor, say aye. The motion carries. Congratulations, Ms. Lee. I am so honored. My team is the best. And I would like to thank the advisory board for all of their support and so many of you that have been here for me. It's been positive pressure, some negative pressure, but improvements have been made, and those have been good. My team, my leadership team, the school, all of our teams here on this campus are the best. And you said it, that because of our team, all those things were accomplished because of our team. It was not me. It was our team. So thank you.
Well, sure.
Ms. Roby, we wish you well. Enjoy your retirement. So the next advisory board meeting will be August 16th. However, we will be waiting on the new principal, what he or she will be coming to join us. But we will plan for August 16th of 2023 as our next meeting. Ms. Roby said it's important to email the new principal and also Carol Ann and Jonathan Jett to make sure you let them know 2 weeks before the meeting actually happens. Who took notes today? Jared in the back did? Okay, thank you, Jared. Thank you so much for taking our minutes for our meeting today.
Okay, now, public comment.
Now, we will open it up for public comment.
This is a bond.
If you don't mind, can you get the sign-up sheet for me, please, Jeff?
Oh.
Oh, I would like to apologize. I forgot to recognize an appreciation for one person. Bridget Mann. This will be her last advisory board meeting with us. So we want to thank you, Ms.